Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 4:09 p.m. on the 7th of May 2024. I've been down and bought a printer, and because I got very confused by all the printers on offer in Officeworks and no one served me for ages, I stood there in a disassociated state, really confused. I'm getting old, people. I can't go on like this. It's ridiculous. And then finally a man came to serve me, and I said I just need a printer to print out my writings to form a book. So he sold me, and I went along with it because I was out of my mind, people. He sold me the cheapest printer, Canon printer. It was only $54, and so I bought that and a ream of paper. I got it home, couldn't fucking set it up. It's taken me forever to set it up, and it's still printing too big print, and the second lot was even worse. So I'm having trouble configuring it. Look at all this empty space, and anyway, I'm livid, not with Officeworks so much, but my own stupidity, and I'm really upset. And I'm not mentally well today. I was off my head when I went down there, but I thought I need a printer so I can carry on with my YouTube videos. Am I right? Since my laptop's died. So that was my fault. Being intrepid and determined has cost me dear. And then the printer doesn't even print double sides of paper, so I'm annoyed about that. And I was actually, here's the irony, I was willing to spend about $300. And when the man said, oh no, this will do, it does the same job, and the others are just, there's not much difference in them. I'm sure I don't even know what the fuck that was about. Have you ever heard of a salesman trying to sell you the cheapest thing just to get you out the door maybe? I don't know what that was about. Or maybe he felt sorry for me because he could see I was not quite right in the head. And or I don't know what that was about. I should have bought the more expensive printer that I had my eye on that did double-sided. And anyway, I would have still struggled setting it up because I struggled to get this much done. But anyway, look, that's my gripe for the day. I have this printer now, and I'll have to learn how to use it, and I'll have to be grateful, as Jackie Burns would remind me, and I'll have to recalibrate, and I'll just have to I don't know what. But anyway, so I'm going to read you memories of the 6th of May 2023, which was yesterday, because we're playing catch up because I haven't had, my computer going, and it's all just, I don't know what's wrong with me that I'm finding all this so stressful. It shouldn't be that hard, but it's just my nervous system. So it is what it is. I am a disability pensioner for a reason, people. I completely crack up when I can't get things to work, and it's not good. It's not good. I also crack up when I'm undersold or sold a product that was under par or anyway. Mama T will just have to manage life. So anyway, I'll continue on with memories from the 6th of May, and we'll probably roll over into the 7th of May if we've got time. I'm very, very tired too, extremely tired today. I slept well, had a better sleep, but it's just, I guess, playing catch up all the time and just constant anxiety lately. Today my anxiety is very bad. Almost to the point where I should be medicated, but I won't go there unless I can get some legal CBD oil. I'm not going there. I don't want to be reliant on medications to get through my day anyway. So the whole thing is all very daunting. But, it's just sleep deprivation, people, and exhaustion and struggling to do everything on my own. That's what it boils down to. It's the being alone all the time and struggling and just feel like everything's a bit of a piss take, quite frankly. But anyway, I'll carry on. Mama T is intrepid, isn't she? She can do anything, even when she's half out of her mind. So here we go. Enemies abound, the living and the dead, but I have survived them. And I shared a quote from Oscar Wilde. Society often forgives the criminal. It never forgives the dreamer, from The Critic as Artist. And look, his photo got chopped in half both ways, so we've got bits and pieces of Oscar Wilde, and that's how my brain feels right now, like someone's cut it up into sections and just thrown it together any old how way they feel like, and the only reason you can hear me talking is I'm the ghost in the machine, not actually here. That's how it feels sometimes. Anyway, Mama T will be fine. I will be fine. I'll carry on with my birdie, who's pooed everywhere. She's worried about her mama. She really is genuinely worried about her mama. Now she's chewing her necklace. Oh, Charlie. 6th of May 2024, that was yesterday. I had a nice quiet day today. I had a lovely day yesterday. There was even a really sweet love energy in the late afternoon in the house. So I don't know why I've crashed and burned today. This is it. I can't be relied on for constant equanimity. I can be fine, and then I can taper out, and then I can fall down, and then I can climb back up, and I just feel like I'm constantly on a sailing ship and fucking high winds and crazy tsunami waves. It's just everything's a constant struggle for me. But when it goes sweet, when it's calm and peaceful and lovely, and then I get bored. So it's just, oh well, I guess it's just post-traumatic stress syndrome, and it's just the way it is. Pardon me, I'll read again. Had a nice quiet day today. It was sunny outside. I stripped my bed and did loads of washing. Worked quite hard yesterday, even though I was exhausted. Charlie was happy outside too. Yes, you were, weren't you, Charlie? Although I'm still nervous about leaving her unattended after our carpet python visitor in my bathroom on Friday evening. Eek! I worry it eats her. And, oh my goodness. This is a photo of me from yesterday, looking very, contented. And here's a photo from last year, Friday night. So, oh well. What does it say? My friend Jackie wrote, that's from when I was going out on the 5th of May 2023. My friend Jackie wrote, hope you had a good night. You'll be sleeping it off now. I replied, I had an insanely good night. I just woke up after 5 hours sleep. The voodoo god Papa Legba was with me all night long. I was in my masculine energy. I fire hoisted one inordinately young man, but not to be threatening, just for fun. The deer went all limp in my arms, playfully, so I think he made it easier for me to lift him 1/2 metre off his feet. What was that? Security gave me a withering glare. I just stared blankly back. Mama T was in the house. I attracted very young men most of the night. It was hilarious, but shows me that my mojo is still off. The DJs were quite good, but they played more doof molly music, but I managed to dance through that. It's probably why I got bored and was lifting men up off their feet, am I right? Doof music kind of triggers my brain into absurdist, mischief, because I can't stand it. 1 or 2 songs is fine, but not all night long. All right, here we go. I came close to entering a light trance a few times, but that pounding beat is aggravating to my nervous system. I didn't drink all night, except Sally bought me one Jack Daniels towards the end of the night. My casino friend Sally. I've got 2 Sallys. Well, I used to have 2 Sallys in my life till I left the casino. As the bar was so crowded with mostly men from the football. I hate football, but the older men were respectful and the younger ones uber enthusiastic. Towards the end of the night, my left hand seized from my middle finger going up my arm. It's called jeweler's cramp, actually. It involuntarily seized into a claw, and I freaked out as it kind of hurt. So I think that was my nervous system telling me I was past all my wins, so it was time to go home. I went and sat down for a while as I could barely walk from all the dancing, and worried about my hand and possibly stroking out. But it settled down, thank God. I had a busy day. It's getting very hot in here, isn't it, Charlie? Holy macaroni. All of a sudden it feels like I'm in a fire. My face isn't hot, so it's one of my hot flushy things. It's the stress, Charlie. The stress of modern living. No, it's just fucking menopause. I had a busy day yesterday, finishing off a few pendants, soldering my gumnut babies, so I really was pushing myself with the frenetic, wild dancing. A strange noise, sounded like howling. Interestingly, the usual saboteur characters weren't there last night. Totally different vibe. But I managed to freak them out in true Tanya style. Deify. The goddess was in the house. I did approach one man who has been watching me for the past few weeks. Ow! I openly asked him if he has a brother named Dave. He replied, no. So I replied, good, because I hate being spied on by my ex-lovers. He gave me a really sweet, compassionate smile. But honestly, that man looks so much like him and has the same nervous habit of looking utterly terrified with his eyes darting everywhere while observing me from the end of the room, that it is indeed unsettling for me. So I told him he needs to overcome his anxiety. I would know something about that, people. And get off his ass and join me in the dance, which freaked him out even more, but I decided was hilarious and a true measure of the man. And also, I think he is a spy. If not for Dave, then possibly for some other nefarious reasons. My instincts are never wrong, especially in a light trance on by then my 4th wind. Yes, Mama T was incredibly powerful last night, and it was good to be fully back in my spirit, even if it scares the bejesus out of the normies. Oh, and another regular, Daniel, came up and gave me a most amazing bear hug and a peck on the lips, and told me, as he does every weekend, that he loves me, and he was like a warm, safe balm to my overly activated spirit. He's actually a very sweet younger man, probably in his late 30s, early 40s, like a little bit older than my oldest daughter, but far too young for me again. Another one that has some weird Mama T crush. I don't understand it, people. Don't understand why young, handsome men would be crushing on an older woman, but if he didn't, don't you bite me. If he didn't bear the double eagle of the Reich on his left back calf, I would trust him more. He has never been harmful towards this crazy Jewish girl, but one never knows. I once commented on his tattoo, and he argued it was ancient and had nothing to do with the Reich. They say the same thing about the swastika. Ow, Charlie. But it still gives me the heebie-jeebies. But I suppose my tattoo of the burning bush with AA Asher AA underneath it does the same. Protection from the supernal realms will unhinge certain spirits. Mind you, in Leviticus it says thou shalt not mark your flesh, blah, blah, blah. So maybe I don't get that much protection after all. Maybe it's just, wish fulfillment, illusory delusions. But anyway, Mama T knows what she knows, and I'll stick to that. Oh, my little darling, I love you so much. Do you know how much I love you? Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kissy kissy? Daniel really does love me too. He made a point of coming to see me and dancing around me, even as I was simultaneously dancing with a 20-something-old who was a great little ham in his passionate way. Ha 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 ha. To quickly friend zone the kid, I was making baby rocking motions with my arms and pretending to throw the baby over my shoulder. He got the message loud and clear, but still cavorted with me. Oh, it's just hilarious when you think about it. I've been more popular with young men now that I'm an older woman than when I was a young girl. When I was young, I only attracted much older men. Isn't that weird? It's almost like I'm living my life backwards, like Benjamin Button. Oh well, there is that. Here I write, baby, baby, baby. I'm attracting all the sweet, loving baby boys. Oh well, I've put a lot of energy into pining for that unrequited, dreadlocked nitwit, also grieving for lost grandchildren we may never have, so it makes sense that young men are drawn to my energy lately. Part of the healing process, little refractions of the mirror of my cracked and broken heart. Man, I worry about the epileptic type seizure in my hand though. I hope I don't stroke out. More reason to dance as often as I can. No bites, Charlie. As I am getting older and more fragile, and buying a printer today was arduous, and it should not be. Should not be that fucking hard. So I am getting more fragile. It's no good living in denial anymore. I'm struggling with just ordinary things. Gratitude to those spirits, both incarnate and eternal, who see me at my most vulnerable, but also at my most powerful. How can I call myself powerful when it was so fucking hard to buy a printer today? I've been struggling to buy a printer now for about 3 months. I've been trying to buy a printer. I think that's why when the man said, just get that one, it does the job, I just kind of went with it. It's only later when I struggled so hard with it, I thought, surely it's not meant to be this hard. And the apps that you have to download all wanted you to pay expensive subscriptions to use to connect it up. I don't understand that either. So I hope I haven't agreed to an expensive subscription, because it just finally eventually started to work right, but I don't think I've paid for anything. But anyway, that was another upsetting thing. I had to quickly go through and delete 3 or 4 apps that all wanted huge money just to sync up your laptop, your iPhone with the printer. It's like madness. It's all madness. Everything's running a scam now. The only thing that's free is Charlie's love and Mama T's love, although Mama T's love is free, I don't give it out very easily anymore. Oh, that's not true. I give my love to everyone, but I don't give out sexual energy to just anyone. I've become very, 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 very chaste and acopic and celibate and asexual because I've been burned too many bloody times. Anyway, it is what it is. Charlie, you're flicking feathers all over me. I look like half a lorikeet now. Is that your evil plan? It is, isn't it? All right. 6th of May 2021. Yesterday I spent grinding with my mini drill grinder, fake Dremel. I'm not well today. I'm really not. It's just, today's Tuesday, isn't it? I don't know what's wrong with me today. Yeah, I managed after several hours of intensive labour to cut deeper into my copper sign. Today I was fairly knackered, but in the late afternoon I managed to saw off a few fork handles with a view to making more bracelets and pendants. I am consciously upping my protection on my front gate. I might need to buy a troll cross to fend off the useless fucking trolls I find on Facebook Marketplace. Laughing out loud. Although it's not actually all that funny when you think about it. But anyway. I just had to laugh. I made a spoon with the words in fake Latin saying, "Never let the bastards grind you down." But that same day I was busy grinding my copper sign, and those words, something was really grinding my gears or activating my grind. I think, nay, I know, that life has whittled me down, ground me down enough. If my worth, could be enhanced by all that grinding, why, I'd be a diamond by now, shimmering in infinity, an ornament for the ever whimsical and capricious and soft. How does that make me feel? Stoic, poetic, noetic, and a little bit crazy, my dears. But the grinding and whetting and whelping and the flogging of my personal dead horse with no name continues. I wanted one thing out of life. I could not even achieve that much. What did my estranged daughter send me in a missive lately? Too little, too late. Well, fuck that. I am better late than never, and if her heart can't incorporate me, then fly, my pretty, fly. I can do this life alone, been doing it, but by all the stars, my wild trickster gods, and every atom in the known and yet unknown multiverses, I will keep striving for that which was always mine by divine decree, which is everyone and everything's. Love. Now excuse me while I have to scream and drill and grind fripperies of meaningless value that I am trying to monetize like a rabid, desperate bitch. My end goal is I want prosperity so I can buy my own home again. It's never going to happen, people. That really is too little too late. And travel to all the sacred spaces and all places and commune with my gods. Well, that will happen when I transition. That I can manifest. The house, not so much. I realise that is ridiculous. I have a roof over my head and I can commune in thought form in a millisecond with any entity that I choose. But it's a nice psychedelic dream to stand in my physical body where all the gods and mortals have stood before in the most sanctified spaces. You going to do another poo? Yes, I knew you were angry for that. You see, where did I put the schmutter? Where is it? Oh, dear goddess. Here. My goodness, Charlie. To immerse myself in holiness and awe and love. Why all this pressure, Tanya? I am catching up for lost and stolen decades, chasing my own tail like the fox and the hounds and my ancient wolvish kin, craving adventure and harmonic resonance in the world of men. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I can play this up-leveling virtual unreality until I manifest all my dreaming, like the dickhead I really am and possibly always will be. It's a hobby, the psychedelic dreaming, keeping me in illusory contentment and containment until I leave this mortalized, mortifying, fossilized, fractured, deceptive, cruel existence. Oh my goodness. What then? Who knows? But oh, what fun shall I be having now and forever in the Summerlands. 6th of May 2020, 11:11 p.m. Enjoy another beautiful day in paradise. 6th of May 2019. Almost 3 years later, I am over those rat finks, getting slowly better, blossoming again in my spirit, living life as my own precious gift, and yes, Julie, still trying to fulfill my destiny. Thanks for defending me that day on Pal Talk. I must have been still in post-suicide fog, or I would have ripped Music Man, that foul Italian-American, a new asshole. I hope karma got him instead. I hope it's not pretty. Truth be told, even at my deadest, I was more alive than most people. A scary concept. And that was in response to something that had happened on the 12th of June 2016. So I'll read it out. I'm just trying to figure out why I was mulling it over 3 years later, but it is what it is. I woke up at 11:30 a.m. Not much sleep, feel heavy and dizzy, but I have been outside hanging more washing, fiddling with the back fish pond. So tired. I think I will go with the flow. Fits and starts of alertness, then rest. Sooner or later, when the meds have finally left my body, I will come back into some sort of balance. I was flushing out, 15 years worth of psych meds, and was I did it in a month, which was a little bit premature, but I was still flushing them out even at that point in time. At the moment, I feel like I'm dying, and David the Devo, meaning David Davidson the Devo, is dragging me to the other side. His collusion with my mother and Buck cost me everything, including my daughter Jasmine. She felt abandoned by my great love for him, so acted out by shoplifting, and that spiraled into hell. Her narcissistically manipulating me and Crystal in my poverty, and me trying to finish the job of raising her without killing anyone, including myself, took its toll. I considered calling her to tell her he is dead, but it won't change anything. Her fucked personality is stamped in concrete and carved in ancient bloodlines. Too late to turn hatred and sociopathology into love. David, meaning his spirit, was at me. I really admire Jasmine. She is her own person. She won't let anyone manipulate her. Actually, no, that was a direct quote that he had said many years prior when I was involved with him. So that I was reminded of that just after his passing was a bit freaking chilling, to be honest. But it is what it is. Here I continue. He saw a kindred spirit, perhaps. She was one of his kind, full of greed and loathing for anyone perceived to stand in their way. Line 'em up and knock 'em down. Well, here I am, still standing after the millionth time I got up again. But I hear it on the wind and in my soul. I don't want to get up anymore. I don't want any more trauma or battles with nasty, mindless, drug-fucked, low-life miscreants. Not one of my enemies were worthy of my love or my fight. Shh. Self-soothe. Shh. Today is another day of healing and loving the rotten carnage of the desecration of my soul. A few months after my last suicide attempt, last August, which was in 2015, and this was written in 12th of June 2016, I was in a chat room in Paltalk. The room owner, I have known him as two-faced, an anti-Semite and a nasty man. After welcoming back to Paltalk, asked me matter-of-factly, I thought you were dead. Are you telling me you are not dead yet? I said, yeah, well, you get that. Julie told him I saved her, which was actually technically true. She did indeed. He said vindictively, what for? Julie replied calmly and patiently, as though responding to a petulant child that has lost his lollipop. For her true destiny, of course. That shut the evil little cunt up, but at the time I was still reeling from the fact that I was still alive and still kind of angry about that. Destiny, I thought. What fucking fucked up destiny. I have had enough bullshit. But I healed from the shock of so many wishing me dead and relished in so few magical, beautiful, wise spirits like Julie, Jared and Lynn, cheering me on and carrying me if they had to. That is true love. Then the spirit of David Davidson alerted me to the fact of his death. I wonder what he died of. Still wondering about that all these years later, actually. Is this my destiny? To see that God loved me enough to let me see the final linchpin in my familial abuse be smited before me? Have I gone bright red, or is it my imagination? Anyway. I'm all pale and wan, but I feel like I've gone bright red. Is that my gift for believing in karma and natural justice, for believing in love and the bonds of love that bind us for eternity? I cut another liar loose this morning. The Davidian line should have stopped with my father and then David Davidson. I don't have any strength left in my heart and soul for another betraying piece of shit. I expect, as my father is 88, that this last goodbye was preparation for when he dies. David Davidson admired my idiot father greatly, based on the fact that he had read Uspensky, Blavatsky, and Gurdjieff. Ha! He really resonated with another abuser as like cures like, does it not? David Davidson, you evil cunt. You can take my father to Hades with you, but this bitch will not cry over either of you. I cried enough. So, kind of interesting, as my father died, about 8 months later, 9 months later. So I was picking up on that kind of energy too. So sometimes when I think I've gone crazy, or like today in particular, I'm feeling off and I can't quite figure out why I should be feeling so icky. But here, look at the sky, so I'm probably somatizing this weird kind of weather, stormy weather, am I right? So sometimes I think it's my mental state, and it's actually not. It's often spiritual, and I'm not consciously aware of what's going on until after the event. And then I'm like, oh, that's what that was all about. So it can be a bit annoying sometimes when I can't figure out what's going on, and I'm somatizing, or I'm feeling into other people's energies unwittingly at times. Charlie, you're being very naughty. You're getting on my last nerve. Go over there, over there, over there. Right. 6th of May 2017. A former friend messaged me this afternoon to invite me, at 3 hours short notice mind you, to go to the Samhain concert at the Tivoli. She had a spare ticket, she wrote. Number 1, ooh. Number 2, those tickets cost $73.52, but I am not for sale. Number 3, I was expected to jump for the carrot stick of a long dead friendship on 3 hours notice. Number 4, double ooh. Number 5, I'm not going back for more abusive, toxic, time-wasting motherfuckers. Number 6, triple ooh. I was actually thinking of her 2 hours before she sent the text. Creepy, very creepy that I was still picking up on her vibes, since we hadn't spoken in about 2 years at that point in time. It's very odd that she should have texted me and offered me a ticket to this dance or concert or whatever the hell it was. The goddess has spoken and has integrity. Yes, she does. Don't ever fuck with the Tanya. I have booked Beauregard in to be de-sexed on Thursday, also vaccinated, and have his hind dew claws removed. It will be a relief when all that is over. Sitting outside with Charlie and Beauregard, enjoying some sun as I feel terribly bereft, and it is healing to be outside with my beloveds in fresh air and sunshine, eating the vestiges of the chocolate cake that would not die, living life. I made this massive cake by mistake. It's quite funny. Living life to the best I can manage in this moment. 6th of May 2016. Fuck me. Beauregard almost got killed in the dog park behind my house by two Labradors who were friendly initially. Suddenly the brown one went for him. They bailed him up against a tree, but luckily the owner got hold of him in time. I've had such a fright, and Beauregard is really freaked out. Going home to our quiet little abode where there are no big savage dogs. And from then on he was aggressive to other dogs too, because he thought that was what you're supposed to do, kind of thing. And he really had a form of PTSD, doggy PTSD. I mean, he was terrified. So my friend Tarina wrote, "Hope you're both okay." And my friend Louise wrote, "That's terrible, you must both be so shaken." And I replied, "We were both shaken up. We had a little rest on our walk back home, so we sat in the grass for a while. Dear little man was traumatized." 6th of May 2014, 4:56 a.m. Still awake? Not cool. In a happy mood, so not too shabby either. Menopause is for sissies. Smiley face. Thinking of Dale McKay here. He got quite miffed by me eating chips out of a packet opened upside down. They weren't even my chips, but were given to me. Lol. Dale McKay is, he used to play for, probably presumably still does, play for Burst. And that was in response to a video or an article I posted. These 22 things might be simple, but they're just wrong. So wrong. Things that would drive people with OCD nuts. Anyway. Having lunch with Nikki, good to catch up. I had a nice time with Nikki. Now at Crystal's, enjoying little Ramon. He is hiding in his house today. Then later I go to pick up, that fucking miscreant piece of shit, from the airport. Then we swap my car with Crystal. I refuse to name it. I'm not giving it that energy. It doesn't deserve any kind of honour. It's just a non-entity. Really is. Been napping at Crystal's, now off to airport. Home at last. The cats are very pleased to see me. I had a nice dinner with my two favourite girls. This is when I thought she was a true friend, right? Sad, isn't it? How fucking sad was I? I was completely oblivious at what level of monstrosity I was even hanging out with. Then drove them home, and they were both exhausted and have work in the morning. Oi. 6th of March 2013. I spent quality time yesterday with Jared and Crystal, watching Foxtel, and a yummy dinner cooked by Jared. Today, more quality time with Heather, a lovely lunch, and a cappuccino at her favourite cafe. Tomorrow, hospital booking for sleep study. Grr. Afterwards, I'll be spending time with Lynn. Lots of happy times with my beautiful friends and my daughter. Happy woman here. What are you doing, Missy? 6th of May 2009. I lost my mind years ago, but someone picked it up and put it in their pocketbook. It's been costing me a fortune to try to find it ever since. Fortunately, I don't miss it all that much. That's the end of my readings from 6th of May. But as we're playing catching up fast, I will continue on with reading the 7th of May as well. And I titled it Comfort in Friends and a Few Angels. I will explain again about social distancing. That just That just cracked me up, people. 7th of May 2023. Watching 3,000 Years of Longing. Wonderful. 11:55 p.m. What a gorgeous movie. I wish I had seen it on the big screen when it first came out. I should have followed my instincts, but I'm fresh out of gin. D-J-I-N-N, Jean. Or am I? I bought a small parcel of small opals today, as recommended by my new friend Orietta, who found them on Marketplace. Only a few weeks ago, I made a video about wanting to buy opals to cut and polish for jewellery. By the grace of the gods, that manifested rather quickly. If only I could manifest a life partner that fluently and fluidly, but humans have free will and can be slippery little suckers, unlike stones or gems that are prisoners of my love and wonder, awe and circumspect affection, worn only as adornments, material fripperies gifted by the gods. Smiley face. Watching Kodrat about an Indonesian exorcist. Intense but excellent movie. A lovely time was had at West End Drumming Circle, even though there were some rain showers. Another lady and I weathered the showers, getting soaking wet, and we didn't mind at all. Beauregard, however, was seriously irritated by the downpour, but it soon passed. Rain and shine, we experienced the divine. Yippee-yi-yo, on we go. And I actually got a terrible cold from that event. I didn't think I would, since it's warm here in Queensland, but I was actually quite ill for about a week after. Today I spent soldering, today was spent soldering pendants. I only succeeded with one, and that was a bit of a hatchet job, LOL. I also got a message from a new friend I made on the Art of Jewellery Facebook site about a parcel of milk white opals for sale. I decided, rather impulsively, to buy them. It will give me practice on sanding and polishing opals, which is an almost meditative practice that I rather enjoy. The bonus is I get something beautiful to show for all my hard work, grinding and polishing. Perhaps something I can set into jewellery too. Exciting. I literally put it out to the multiverses only a few weeks ago on one of my zany YouTube videos, and hey presto, the stones have already manifested. Miraculous. Well, they weren't very expensive. I think I paid $65 or $75, but they're tiny little chips, they're nothing extravagant. Would like to get myself some more extravagant opals, but baby steps, people, baby steps. This afternoon I'm going to West End Drumming Circle. That should be fun. I'm still quite tired from my shamanic berserker dancing on Friday night, so it will be relaxing to sit by the river and drum or listen to the drumming. It's getting dark. I'm feeling very much loved and supported and blessed right now. Gratitude to all that is. 7th of May 2022. 2:38 p.m. Home from a great night out dancing. I looked fabulous. but the very high patent leather stilettos were not a good idea. I have very sore feet now. Oopsies. Time-fighting space bandit Mama T will not relinquish her inappropriate shoe fetish easily. Charlie. I wore lower-heeled boots the last 2 times I went dancing. Smiley face. I caught up with Jane, who was one of the cleaners at the casino. It was good to see her. We gave each other a massive hug. I also danced with Lucia and her beautiful friend. The band was good but finished at 11:30 p.m. The DJ was one of the good ones. The DJ comes on when the band finishes, is what I meant by that. I got quite tired because of my achy feet, but also the vibe just died after the band finished, which is such a shame. The place was half empty by the time I left at 1:30ish. Still in all, I had a nice time dancing with some regulars and catching up. Lucia's friend had a partner, and I noticed he had a tattoo with Hebrew writing. He told me he is not Jewish, but grew up Lutheran, and his first wife was Catholic. So after his marriage broke down, he got the tattoo which says 612. God only disappoints the ones he loves the most. He said he was still attending Mass at the time. I nodded. I poked his shoulder and said, "The Lord has their finger on you. They never quite let us go." I said, "I hear you on the disappointment, but it's funny how we, chosen ones, find each other in the most strangest of spaces." I showed him my tattoo with AA, Asher AA. I am who I am becoming, as I am still a work in progress. He liked that. I felt comforted in a way. God is watching over me in his usual peculiar way. Disappointment or no disappointment, I feel grateful and blessed. I noticed one of the security guards watching me having a conversation with the lovely man. I guess they are puzzled, as I rarely engage with men, but I figure this guy was safe as he is dating a friend. Maybe my love self-hypnosis thing. I was doing this weird self-hypnosis thing to attract love at that point in time, at night, trying to literally hypnotize myself to get over some of my interminable blocks. So I write here, maybe it's helping me open up a little more and actually talk to random men. It's been years since I did that. No agendas, just being convivial and showing interest in people in general. It's actually lovely, quite frankly, because I had shut that down for years because of the viciousness from that former lover and friends. I still have a long way to go until I let myself fall in love or reclaim my once joyous sexuality. But I am content with my slowly blossoming, evolving self right now. Here I wrote back on 7th of May 2011. I woke up to find my gold torque newly rediscovered in the lemon myrtle tree after being missing for a month, tossed off on the floor. I was bemused, as this means I must have been tossing and turning so actively that I took it off in my sleep. I love this bangle. It was actually bought for me by my half-sister, long time prior when we were still on friendly terms. I love this bangle. It's a symbol of my status as a warrior, a Celtic symbol that Scottish warriors traditionally wore way back in time. And so in 2022 I commented, it got sold as it got too banged up. I wish I'd kept it, as I could have melted it down myself and transmuted the gold into something else. But, oh well, I probably needed money at the time, and it was irreparable. Crystal bought me a lovely bronze one in Glastonbury, which I almost never take off. It too is a bit worse for wear and hasn't the braided wire that goes around it. It's all like broken off over time. I'm thinking about braiding some sterling silver wire though and soldering it around it again and giving it, like recycling it, giving it new life. But I still wear it as I love it so much, especially with the wolf heads. Here's a photo. Bit of a waste of bloody ink there because I didn't realise it was going to print out with these enormous big photos. But anyway, I'm so annoyed wasting money and stupidity because of my lack of technological grace. It's just frustrating. And there's no one to help me. I rang Jared because I don't know how to do that, and I don't know anything about syncing iPhones to printers. And funnily enough, after I got off the phone to him and upset and distressed, it started working, but far too big print. And anyway, that's something that I'll have to sort out and tweak. And there's no one to help me. It's just, I'm so frustrated about having to struggle on my own all the time. Like, it's just today, I don't know why, but today it just feels an immense struggle. And other days I wouldn't have given a fuck, it's odd. It's odd that I'm in this headspace today. And I must remember that I've had all these amazing auguries, like that amazingly big snake in my bathroom, and then this really light, fluffy energy that was in my house yesterday. It felt like rabbits were just dancing around. It was just that feeling of light, like marshmallow or rabbit fur, just soft and sweet. I thought, I wonder who's sending me that love energy. And then today I woke up feeling like absolute fucking hell. So it's bizarre, people. It's very bizarre. Charlie, no, you can't do that. Over here. Come over here, Papa. Over here. Another group that I failed at cobbling together. I was supported by Lynn and Jared, however. A reminder, tomorrow. Dear friends, the next Sacred Space Spiritual Circle will be held at Point Halloran near Victoria Point on Saturday the 8th of May 2021 from 3 to 5 p.m. The topic will be ghosts. Have you seen them? Have they had any influence on your life? Or were they just ephemeral apparitions? Bring a blanket or yoga mat to sit on, something warm to wear as the late afternoons are getting cooler. Bring something to eat if you wish to picnic or munch on something while we socialise. A $5 donation is appreciated, or another energy exchange such as a story, an offering to the Fae, flowers, shells, coral or gold beads that we could cast into the sea, or other suitable ancestral offerings. No milk in the sea or in fresh running waters, as this is offensive to the Fae as it contaminates their water. I conduct a smudging for all participants at the beginning of each circle. All walks of life and faiths are welcome. I only ask that everyone brings a positive, open-minded attitude and treats each member of the group with respect. This is a friendship circle, which I hope expands to a regular group of people passionate about the more spiritual and metaphysical aspects of our lives on earth. I look forward to seeing you on 8th of May. In the meantime, be well, be happy, and be blessed by the gods of your understanding. And no one ever turned up, just Lynn, Jared and I. And so we sort of kept it, I kept it going for about 4 months and then gave up, It's a shame. I suppose it was during the worst of COVID though, and people were too frightened to go out and socialise, but oh well, it is what it is. Find your vibe, find your tribe. The spiritual ones that want to discuss things about spirituality with me. If they want me, they'll find me, am I right? I'm no longer going to any huge efforts to extend myself for the sake of other people when I'm not supported. It's a waste of my time. Here I write, integration with personal integrity, albeit isolationist and marginalised, comes a renewed vigour and a blossoming in my psyche, a heart-opening and newly innovated creativity. Who knew? All those perverted, evil BDSM bastards that try to destroy me in various dance spaces, and in my own family of origin, in jobs and in hospitals where I went for surgeries, vulnerable and ill, but never truly weak, unlike those in positions of authority who subvert their own Hippocratic oath like the befouled hypocrites they truly are. The former lovers who were just psychopathic borderlines and rapists and attempted murderers. The sadomasochistic, Dybbuk-ridden but ultimately weak men saturated in their own spite, envy and insecurities, destructive in their modus operandi, filthy and pathetic. Who knew? Alas, poor Tanya, she knew them well, but was too brutally broken by early childhood trauma to know better. To discern the carrion bloodletting of lust-driven men and their henchwomen. Oh, they really were disgusting. They really were. Perhaps that's why I'm having a dark day today. It's beyond awful. She gave away too many fucks for fuck-starved, cloven-footed men who carried no light, no love, and no honour for her. Who knew? Who could predict in all my worst nightmares that monstrosities of human waste I would need to overcome, to get over, to grow in variegated stages of post-trauma like a plant in the little shop of horrors, to devour my own ghastly pain and transmute it into something approximating the divine deify. A work in progress, giggles. Eat me? In Wonderland, wunderbar in it, little Tanya is holding Alice's hand and spinning in infinity with the angels in concentric circles of a great washing machine type cyclonic action, divesting herself of dross and integrating only, the most precious, most worthy aspects and people that have merited a place in her heart and body. My enemies shall choke on their own bespittled hate that they cast upon me with their peni, their slanders, and their own treacherous, strangling hands. I am waiting for the divine retribution to be fully enacted upon those still living. Winky face. I can wait. I have seen the glory of my God when he showed me how loved I truly am by those beings of interdimensionality that wrought vengeance on Gila. There is still a hit list, a few new names added to it, but yes, I can wait. I waited out my own grief and my own rage, like a storm at sea, tempestuous and precarious, and like all forces of nature, unpredictable and uncontrollable. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place, they say, but the Tanya knows that is not strictly true. The same enemies that have thought they got away with everything they did to me will face their own hag one day. And with my avenging angels encircling that hag and piling on the furies experienced by me and no doubt other survivors of these bleak and perverted and mostly useless individuals, there will be no mercy unless they exhibit a change in behaviour and a sincere, sacred and heartfelt apology. I won't wait for that though. Not one of them had the personal integrity or the good grace to be sorry. Instead, they harboured new recruits of hatred with their poisonous worm tongues and toxic, fuming vaginas. I have to laugh. It's almost too funny. But I am happily awaiting my retributions, invested and protected by the gods. They are tweaking my spirit even now as my body, ravaged by pain and other sordid, capricious cruelties, grows inevitably more frail and enters the new dimension of death. My angels are lifting me up and throwing me into a higher realm of dimension where I am beautiful, successful, wise, and truly deeply loved by other mortals whose troths they ply are decent and true, and who would never deign to hurt me. I rise in an ecstatic dance of my own making. I twirl in my own shamanic healing trance of an awakened psychedelic dreamer. I shimmer and gleam in my newly cleaned and polished crystallized cloak of many colours. My auric field expanded and glistening like a newly formed butterfly. My last becoming will be brief but glorious. I embrace the past with compassion for my own becoming, and I welcome the future that is brought to me in every moment as a yet unrevealed but tantalizing gift. In the eternal now, I breathe light and a love that could not be raped, stymied, sabotaged, slaughtered, or desecrated by knaves. I rise and rise, expecting the inevitable fall that besets all mortals. But this has been a slowly unfurling uprising. It's been years in the making, a phosphorescent glow in the night, a thinly masked and shielded fabulousness by day. I am not afraid to be the best version of me anymore. 7th of May 2020, 11:11 a.m. Synchronicities falling this, that should say, falling thick and fast. What's shaking, babies? There's my pen. I've got a pen here. Bugger. Might not too easy to fix that. Oh, Charlie. You've got me. You've got me a beauty. Oh. "11:11 p.m. My angels remind me to enjoy the sweetness of my life in the ends of my days, or the day's end." Smiley face. 7th of May 2019. Jared and I had a burst of creativity last night and made quirky earrings from old toys. I love the card display and the photo shoot Jared made for each set of earrings. We had so much fun. Thanks, Jared. That was a lovely evening we spent together. And I gave those Barrel of Monkeys earrings to Crystal, I believe. Update. 7th of May. Oh, you pooed all over Mama again, you little demon birdie. It's constant. It's a constant running poopykins. Constant running poopykins. I felt so out of it when I went to Officeworks at Garden City. I actually drove around the other side of the shopping centre at Garden City to go and have a meal at Mr. Curry. I like the chicken katsu curry they have there. I had a meal and I actually kind of needed to go and buy groceries. I couldn't, I was so out of it. I had my meal and I went straight to my car and came straight home. That's how bad I felt earlier today. I was not in a good space. Not in a good space at all. And I don't know what triggered that. Like I said, I had a good sleep, reasonably good sleep last night. I only got up to pee twice, so I wasn't too bad. I shouldn't be that wrung out. But, this is my life, people. Good days, bad days, good days, bad days. It's constant. It's probably why I'll never have a partner, because no one can tolerate that, I guess. It would take someone that understands trauma to understand that I float through life, never knowing how I'm going to be from one day to the next. And but when I'm good, I'm really good. Really, really good. And when I'm bad, I'm just wrung out and tired and exhausted. Update 7th of May 2020. On Monday, Crystal brought me all her old, odd tarot cards. Many were my mother's. So I sorted through them last night, burnt the damaged ones. I will make more cards for jewellery holders, which you can see there. I wrote Titania's Realm on the top and poked holes in them to hang earrings, and they look so bright and colourful and cheerful. And yet I'd get these idiotic fundamentalist Christians, like when we went to the markets at Kilcoy, ask me what the tarot cards were for and was I demonic. And it's just crazy making how stupid and ignorant people really are, and insulting, by the way. But anyway, what can you do? This is our education system, and the brainwashing and the absolute stupidity of most people. And here I write, And there's angels in the architecture spinning in infinity. And we say, hallelujah, Charlie. Hallelujah. I woke up a second time tonight with that lyric in my head. It's a Paul Simon song. Is it from Graceland or one of the other songs? It's from the Graceland album. I'm trying to think what the name of the song is. Anyway. The Holy One sending me missives of grace and bedazzlement. Amen. V'Salah. And a memory from 7th of May 2013. And what would you do if an uninvited dwarf came and hung his things up in your hall without a word of explanation? The Hobbit. Freshly coiffed by my favourite hairdresser. Thanks, Kylie. 2019. My goodness. Time marches on. I'm wearing, if you look closer, I'm wearing the little Matryoshka dolls that I turned into earrings. They look really lovely too. 7th of May 2017, 3 a.m, home from a night's dancing with Jenny and Karen, utterly exhausted. Everything hurts. So in my bath, decompressing, in brackets, decompensating, de-stressing, and unfurling my feet. Hard to imagine that I have been doing this most weekends for over 6 years. Try 13 years now. Madness. Still single, sexy, and free of epic bullshit. Might continue that way for a long time too. And yes, I did. I have spent the afternoon slashing down my dragon fruit cactus as it was non-productive. It's 23 years old, back in 2019, so that makes it 28 years old now. The flowers were lovely, but it simply refused to set fruit. Like you refused to do the wild thing with the wild boy lorikeets and make me a grandma. And my cactus won't set fruit, and my daughters won't have babies. Well, they have a choice in that. That's their body autonomy. But not one of you has made me a grandma. Except I was a grandma to rabbits for a couple of years there. Yes, I was. I was a happy grandma to bunny rabbits. Well, what are you going to do about it, Charlie? What do you have to say about it all? Can you say, pew, pew, pew? Pew, pew, pew. Gonna do the Star Wars, pew, pew, pew. You can do the kissy, kissy. You're so cute, Charlie. Where was I? About it refusing to set fruit. I understand completely, having retired my own uterus almost 10 years ago and released my fruity offspring like spores to the four winds. Our fecund days are over, dragon fruit and me. She might put forth new growth, so might I. We might co-create in other more surprising and less labour-intensive ways, giving birth to new loves, creative projects, takes patience and time. Yes, it does, my darlings. But for now, I am tired and sweaty and craving something nice to eat. Not coping tonight. Can someone who loves me send me a hug? Cheers. Thanks a lot. And here were all my lovely hugs from all my wonderful internet friends, all cheering me on and wishing me well. It was very delightful. My internet friends and one of my cousins. And Julie Butler sent me hugs all the way from Holland. Oh, Charlie, honestly, Charlie, this is very depressing how I'm being poopy-kinned on. Not nice, Charlie. And I replied to Julie Butler, I know I will, Julie, but fact is, because she said I'll get through, but fact is I no longer want to. But thanks for the lovely support from you all. God bless. And then I also stated, Julie, go visit the Keukenhof, spelling, gardens, and think of me as usual, tiptoeing through the tulips, all moshing and stomping all over them, Tassie Devil style. Winky face. And she wrote back, I've been and I adored it. Isn't that beautiful? Try and get it in a bit closer. And my friend Jared sent me a lovely meme. And all my other friends cheering me on. Very sweet. My friend Sally Castle wrote, hugs Tanya, get some more from the cats and Bobo too. Kiss, kiss, kiss. And I replied, here's some more sweetnesses. Thanks, Sally. Bobo has been especially loving tonight. Cats, not so much, as they are the world's sociopaths. Dear sweet little fluffy pussies. And look at all this love I receive and acknowledge and I'm grateful for, even though quite a few of these people in these pages have dropped me like a hotcake in the last few years. But it is what it is. Here's some more. So, Mama T is loved. I am loved. Might not be loved in ways that make sense to ordinary mortals, but I am loved. Here I posted a meme. A father said to his son, be careful where you walk. The son responded, you be careful. I walk in your footsteps. And ain't that the truth? Set a fine example of parenting and your kids will grow up successful, usually, not always, but usually, happy, thriving, and they'll choose the most wonderful, loving partners and they'll have goodly lives. But fuck it up and keep fucking it up and you get me. But I've turned out okay in spite of it all, really. I fought a long, hard fight. What is this up? What's this you've done? You've managed to poo right into the crease where the stitching is. No, I got it now. My Deify t-shirt has been shitified. Yes, I know. I still love you, Charlie. Truth. So terribly tragic that my father left me only footsteps of blood-stained muck. Evil bastard. But never mind. I am practicing Ho'oponopono. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. So far, all I feel is horribly bereft. But soul healing takes time. Sometimes an instant, and sometimes eons. I am done. And I didn't actually owe my father an apology or a need to be forgiven, since I didn't actually do anything wrong really by him. I just needed to keep myself and my children safe. That's all that it boiled down to. 7th of May 2016, 4:34 a.m. Home from a wonderful night dancing with my gorgeous friends. Joe came all the way from the Gap to pick me up and dropped me home again, which was very kind. Must have meant that my car wasn't operational at that point in time. A few friends, Karen, Kirsty and Sally, each bought me a drink. I feel thoroughly spoiled. Alter Egos was playing, and after they finished at 2:30 a.m, our favourite DJ, James, strutted his stuff. We all had a great night. I am tired, but really grateful and happy for all the gifts the universe has bestowed upon me in recent weeks. Thank you, Hashem, and thank you to my human earth angels who raise me up when I fall in a heap. You are amazing. She's smoochy birdie. Very smoochy birdie. 2:53 p.m, finally awake. I had to wash my goose down doona again as Beauregard pissed on it and it soaked into the mattress. I sprayed vinegar on the mattress, covered it with a towel and threw some blankets on top of me. I love that puppy, but sometimes he is a pain in the tuchus. That means ass. Mostly the doona was still clean, so I just washed the pee-pee section, as washing it so much as destroying it. It's a beautiful warm afternoon. I need to buy a new one actually, new feather doona, and they're really expensive. They're like $600. It's like I need a new laptop too. I need, but I'll have to make do without. My feet are still tingly and jangly from last night's dancing, but I had fun. I might lie in the grass with my puppy keister. Here's some photos of Sophie Cat, who's also in Valhalla now. She was a very sweet pussycat and very gorgeous little soul. Now I am seriously depressed after posting about Case, my stepfather Case, and his experiences. Here is a happy thought for the night. And Beauregard lying like a teddy bear on my mother's old couch. 11:27 p.m. Trying to stay home and be a good girl. Beauregard was just curled up beside me, gazing up into my eyes. Guilt trip, canine style. I have considered taking him to the city to introduce him to George the Busker and my homeless friends, then walking across the bridge to South Bank and back. Tempting, but my muscles ache, and I already walked him to the dog park this Arvo. He got to play with his feisty girlfriend, Tess, the King Charles Cavalier, also Leo. 7th of May 2014. Feeling very happy and baking bread and butter pudding. Yum! Hope it turns out okay, as it's my favourite. Here I posted a video. This little girl's epic breakup note serves as a warning to all little boys out there. It was on viralnova.com, and I wrote, the kid is for real. I wouldn't marry a Neolithic tribesman ever again either. No comment necessary. And my friend Julie Goddard wrote, laughing out loud, that is so cute. 15 charts that perfectly illustrate how to properly pet animals. So I wrote, most cats love their belly rubbed, but like all cat affection, on their terms. Goldfish also do like being petted by tickling their tummies, underwater of course. I sometimes hold them gently in my hand and tickle them. They stay still for a few seconds, then I let them swim away. As for the mythical creatures, who knows? I can't honestly say I have cuddled a unicorn lately. I did used to have a 12-year marriage to a yeti, however. Well, it was a 12-year relationship because I was with him for 12 years. He did not like cuddling much either. The abominable snow job man was rather cold. So cold we had separate blankets, and sex was very, very quick. Oh well, life goes on. Later that day I wrote, "Oh my God, Vikings, blood eagle, astonishing indeed." 7th of May 2013. I saw the sleep respiratory specialist this morning, which was the last time I saw them actually. 11 years later, well, 'tis what it is. He is recommending that I get to keep my driver's license as long as I don't drive tired or for longer than 3 hours a day. Phew, so happy. I spent the rest of the day and evening with Lynn. We had a nice relaxing day and Lynn bought us Indian food for dinner. I had my favourite mango chicken. It's almost Lynn and my friend Margot's birthday on the 11th and my daughter Jasmine's birthday on the 10th. But Jasmine and I are estranged, so there's never any acknowledgement of that day. But Margot and Lynn, I'm not in a good headspace. I need to get them each a little present, and I need to get off my ass. I need to pull myself together. I've got to find a little present for Lynn's last grandchild that was recently born, baby Evelyn. I need to pull myself together, and you know what? I don't think I'm not going to make it. I'm not feeling good at all. But then I felt great yesterday, so tomorrow I might feel great again. Let's just hope for the best. 7th of May 2011, quiet day, a beautiful, stunning, clear blue sky, a warm sunny day, no wind, everything in perfect order in the universe. I even played some lovely music. Life is good. I woke up to find my Gold Talk I've read that out to you before in the other memories. Here I wrote down the bottom, after finding my Gold Talk, I'm not going to lose it again, I hope. No, instead I sold it for scrap gold because it got too beaten and banged up. I fought too many battles just to be me to lose my talk now, laughing out loud. I'm also glad I don't have to get a new talk made, as it would take a lot of gold and be very expensive to get made. Sigh. And thus concludes today's memories and yesterday's memories. And I was determined to continue with my vlog on YouTube, and bought the printer and printed everything out and sung the theme tune and whistled the theme tune, and here I am back in the game, even though I no longer have a usable laptop for now until my friend Peter can have a look at it. I've found a way around things. I'm like a wild rambling rose. I always find, usually by the grace of the gods, a way around things. But I hope you enjoyed that. There were a few poignant little memories in there, and Have a beautiful evening wherever you are in the space-time continuum. It's quite dark outside now, and I can hear some bats doing little screechy things, and time to put Charlie in her cage. It's sleepy by time, Charlie. Oh, it's birdie num num time, Charlie. You gotta go sleepies. You gonna go to bed? Yes. She goes, no, I want to be with you, Mama T. No, you gotta go to bed. As soon as the sun goes down, all the birdies go to bed. So, goodbye from us, and stay safe, stay happy, and big agape love from our house to yours, and bye for now.